Alien Isolation llega al mercado el 7 de octubre de 2014 y promete ser un título que rescatará la atmósfera del primer filme dirigido por Ridley Scott, además de que te mantendrá en constante alerta, pues el xenomorfo te acechará en todo momento. Alistair Hope es líder creativo en The Creative Assembly, quien nos platicó sobre este título, que será distribuido por Sega.
So this project, Alien Isolation, this game, came about because we were huge fans of the first film, and we felt like there was an amazing opportunity to take the player back to that original, haunted house in space, the roots of the series, where just one alien could be really meaningful and a really amazing encounter for the player. I think one of the great things for me about Alien Isolation is that everyone has their own story to tell after playing it, and I think that's actually a really important sort of part of our medium, of our art, that is actually about the player, that it's their story, it's their journey. When we take this to shows, game shows, and we have you see a bunch of friends go into the booth and they all play the slice of the game, and they all have a great time, and they survive, and they come out and they all excitedly talk about how they survived and the experiences they had, and they're all different. Sure. So for every encounter, we give the player a number of options as to how they want to approach. For example, you can evade, you can try and slip past without being seen. So we give you, for example, the smoke bomb that will generate a huge amount of smoke, and that will obscure your view or the view of you from the other enemies. So all of the other entities in the world are very unpredictable, and so you need to be very cautious when approaching anything, whether it's human survivors or an android, because they could be positive, they could be a benefit to the player, but they also could be extremely negative and become an obstacle to you. So one of the key things you can do is listen to their conversations.
También nos habló acerca de los detalles visuales que otorgan un estilo característico a las computadoras y segmentos de video dentro del juego.
We really love that lo-fi sci-fi aesthetic from the first film, this kind of 70s view of the future, and we really wanted to capture the kind of texture. And so we looked at digital effects, and they were cool, but they just weren't giving us the right qualities that we were after, and so we took the rather unusual step of taking all the assets that we needed to put on screen, and we recorded it onto VHS tape. We then played that back through an old SD kind of goldfish bowl curved screen. We filmed it, and as we filmed it, we crushed the cables and used magnets around the side of the screen, and just anything that would modify and break up the signal. We then took that footage and put it back into the game.
Le preguntamos su opinión sobre el resurgimiento del survival horror, con títulos como The Evil Within, próximo a publicarse.
I mean, we've been working on this game for a long time, over 4 years now, and so I think it's possibly a coincidence that other games are appearing that have within the survival horror genre. For us, this was all about making the alien game that we wanted to play, and really focusing on the values and the sort of the qualities of that first film. I think maybe as to why the wider context as to why these games are appearing in a sort of similar window, I'm not sure. Maybe it's a sort of reflection of people wanting a slightly different experience, wanting alternative experiences, one way where not necessarily a trigger pull is the answer to every option.
Te informó hasta el último nivel Cartucho TV. Mira nuestros otros videos y no olvides suscribirte a Cartucho TV, informándote hasta el último nivel.